Hello and welcome to the first episode of End Up Like Me, hosted by your boy, Jonathan. Hey, I'm your host, and that wasn't me doing a silly voice, no siree. This is the End Up Like Me podcast where I tell you folks stories about my life that might have made me who I am today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who's this big shot on the other end of the microphone who's trying his best to enunciate but still can't really do it? Well, I'll tell you, ladies, and I know you're asking for me. I'm a 21-year-old something, husband, father, who still kind of sort of lives at my parents' house. Going through school on a scholarship I'm probably going to be losing because my grades aren't doing so well. Actually, the exact opposite of a role model, I would think. So why am I hosting this podcast? I can't even keep myself together across this microphone. But really, why am I? I don't really know why myself I'm recording this. Maybe it's in hope I become famous and I can buy a new house with my podcast money. Cough, cough. That won't happen. I don't know if you even really make that much money doing podcasts. All I know is I have things that I want to talk about, and I need a reason. So I thought, hey, I'll let those psychology majors, I'll let them psychoanalyze me. But yeah, that's basically it. I am hosting a podcast so I can talk about things I want to talk about. And you have to listen. You have to. You have to, you have to, you have to. Getting a little crazy up in here. But yeah. This is episode 1. And I hope I'm doing okay on this intro. It's probably like 3 minutes in. And I'm just babbling about me. Because that's what this podcast is about. Me. Let's just get into it. So how I'm running this podcast thing is I sent myself a text message, because that is my version of a sticky note, because I'll lose the sticky notes, but text messages are forever. I'll send myself a text through my email, and I basically sent myself like 50 plus items I could possibly talk about ever, and I'm thinking 2 items per episode. Now, I haven't decided what the second item is for this episode, but I do know for a fact that we're going to start off by talking about being a parent. Like no one's ever done that before, Jonathan. But for real, being a parent really, really makes somebody into a completely other person. Like you go from being Jonathan to dad. And sometimes you don't feel like you're doing such a good job at being a parent. I try my hardest, but sometimes I definitely could be doing better. I could definitely be more inspired to get away from my serving job at a restaurant to further my education so I can get a bigger and better job. Not saying anything against serving jobs. It's you don't make a whole lot of money, and I want to be that parent that can save up for my kids' college fund. But anyways, I made a small Word document so that helped me go over these items, because I'm no professional podcaster. I probably have several grammatical errors in my speech, because when I'm thinking and I'm nervous, words just don't work right. So I'm probably going to cut it here and then start talking again before I screw things up. All right. So this is going to sound so typical. Of course he's saying this. What parent doesn't say it? You've probably heard this 1,000 times already, but being a parent is a 24/7 job. I mean, you're watching that kid nonstop. There isn't a moment when you're not watching that kid unless someone else is doing that task for you. Such as maybe the child's other parent or relative, like your grandparents, the grandparents want a babysitter or whatever. But even when that kid's asleep, you're still like within enough distance to where you can do whatever you can to make sure this kid's all right. If there is a problem, probably won't be getting really dramatic with hand signals at the microphone, doing all these things. Are you picking it up, Mike? I don't think so. Sorry, I'm getting off task. I was diagnosed with that thing called ADHD. Some people don't believe it's real. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just continue talking for your psychology friends. All right, that's your only job, Jonathan. But going back to what I was saying, you're always watching that kid, and there's some tasks that go along with the job. Feeding a baby is not as hard as you think. So my son, he was born 5 weeks early, and he had to stay at the NICU, also known as the NICU, which is basically for the babies that are born too soon, that they want to keep they want to keep watch over them just in case their health starts degrading, or they're not able to do the things that they should be able to do at birth because they were born early. Luckily for us, that's his name, little Simon. Simon was very healthy, but they just want to make sure. So we were talking about feeding, right? Feeding. So Simon, he didn't know how to eat, so that they had to put a feeding tube through his nose that would pump the milk into his stomach. So he just wasn't eating at all. We would put a bottle every day. We were there every day for 2.5 weeks. Like, the doctor said he was only going to be there 2 weeks at most, and he was there well beyond it. But so basically every feeding session started off with them making us a little bottle. Actually, no, it started off with my wife attempting to breastfeed, him not sucking, then her having to go over to the pump, which is basically a machine that takes the milk from the breast so that the mother can still produce milk at the same time as it helps her produce milk, basically, and then we can feed the breast milk back to Simon later because it's a lot more healthier than formula. So we would have a bottle of her breast milk, and we would attempt to feed it to him, but it was mostly just us holding the bottle in his mouth and him not sucking at all. And it was so frustrating. He did this for basically 14 days straight, would not drink through a bottle. So they had to it's kind of scary actually as a parent, because you don't know really how fragile your baby is or how tough he is. But to us, it seems like pushing a tube up his nose so that he can be fed. It's very uncomfortable for him. It doesn't hurt him apparently, but it was very uncomfortable. And so it scared us a few times, but he had to keep this feeding tube in for eating. And I'll tell you guys, that was so easy. Now, being a parent isn't about what's easy, but man, every now and then I'm thinking, I'm so tired. Can we just stick a feeding tube up this kid's nose to feed him some milk? Please. I mean, it's not as bad. So when we took him home from when he's at the NICU, he has a nurse that works a 12-hour shift and then switches to another nurse. So while he was staying at the NICU, we could go to sleep and there would be somebody watching over him, feeding him if we were dead tired. But we always try to be up for all his naps, his things or stuff. But there was someone to fall upon just in case to do the things. So we could go out and there would be a nurse taking care of him, which we hardly did because we always want to be by Simon. But when you bring the baby home, that luxury is gone, just blown away in the wind. So I don't know if I've already said this, but when they're first born, they have to eat like every 3 hours because their stomach's small, so it goes through the milk really quickly, and then they need another bottle, and then they're small. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't fact check this, but so you have to feed them every 3 hours. And for any math wizard out there, they can tell you one of these feeding sessions is going to happen while, like, in the middle of the night. Actually, probably 2. Because if you feed them before you go to bed at 10, then the next feeding session's at 1 in the morning, then at 4 in the morning, and then the next one's at 7. So that's a reasonable time to be getting up. So 2, definitely while you're sleeping. If you're sleeping in, you're going to probably hit 3. 3 times you have to wake up in order to feed a baby. Which you will do because you love him/her. Even if it's an it, you will love him. Sorry, I'm getting overly aggressive. I cannot believe you just accused me of not loving my little Simon. Just kidding. I'm getting a little dramatic. I think it makes things fun when I do that. Little thing about me, I am that dude that's trying to crack a joke 75% of the time. I will be at work and only 25% of the things I say to my coworkers are remotely serious. I don't joke around with my customers, per se, not always, because sometimes they're serious sallies, but what was I talking about again? I am getting off topic. We are talking about feeding a baby every 3 hours and how it drives you insane. You're like, please, 5 more minutes. No 5 more minutes. Okay, you're going to cry. I mean, it's a good thing you're crying to wake me up because you do need to be fed. I'd love 5 more minutes. And then you'll kick your wife if you have another person helping you, which is way the more easier. You single parents, you guys are heroes, okay? The fact that you're doing everything that you possibly can successfully, I'm like, even if you fail as a single parent, like not fail, like, but you're doing poorly as a single parent, I swear you guys are working so hard, doing so well. But if you're not a single parent, you're kicking your other person to wake up and go feed and change the baby, please. Please do this. I am so tired. I have things to do in the morning. I have a test. And then your significant other will be kicking you back and like, well, I got things in the morning too. Come on. It'll only take you like, I can't actually remember how long it takes a little baby to eat, but sometimes it can be like 30 minutes long because they eat so slowly. They don't have the sucking motion down. Now, my kid, he will eat in 2 minutes, or maybe not that fast. I can't keep track of time. I've already said this, but he will eat really quickly. But back then, they don't eat so quickly. So you'll find yourself occasionally doing desperate things, like propping the bottle for like that last 3 drops. Like you fed him for like 20 minutes. He's going to sleep. You know, once he's done eating the bottle, he might not go back to sleep. So this is the trick. You lay him down on his crib. He'll probably get upset with you because he still wants to be held. This is very lazy parenting right here, but sometimes you need sleep. And what you do is you take a blanket and you prop up the bottle so that he has probably maybe a minute or 2 left of drinking the milk. So by the time that he is done with that bottle, he's falling fast asleep. This is probably an extra crucial thing when you're dealing with babies that don't sleep. Now, thankfully, mine is a very good sleeper. I don't really even need to do that, but there's been 1 or 2 few times where I can tell he's not going to go back to sleep. This is the trick you need to perform. Just make sure that the bottle isn't too full. Is this an advice podcast now? No, this is still a podcast about me, guys. Don't take notes of my tips, because they might be bad tips. I don't know. I'm still working on this kid. But take notes about what's wrong with me. How did I get here? Just kidding. Probably not a good idea to interrupt myself like that. Am I sabotaging my own podcast? I don't know. But I don't. When you do this, watch your baby. Make sure he doesn't choke. Make sure he's able to drink the milk. sometimes babies, they don't know how to pace themselves, so while they're drinking their bottle, they're not breathing. So this is something you have to be very cautious for. I do not recommend propping the bottle up for your baby while feeding the baby. I'm just saying things that I have done. But yeah, if your baby's not breathing while drinking, there's a trick that you can do while I'm on the topic that they'll teach you at the NICU, is that you need to force the baby to not drink the bottle. So you'll kind of tilt the bottle to where the baby will have its mouth open and it's no longer that suction lock onto the nipple of the bottle. And then the baby will start breathing on its own. It'll remember to, at least. But yeah, bottle feeding is it is the worst. At the beginning, you love feeding your baby. You do, but it can be such a simple task is so demanding. You've seen it on TV. Parents fighting on who's getting up to feed and change the baby real fast. Now that moves me on to my next topic about this kid. So poops. I don't know how it works. I don't know the difference really, because so basically my wife, she dried up on milk pretty quickly, because we had to go to a trip across the. We live in the Midwest, and we had to go to the East Coast because my grandfather was about to pass away, and so we wanted to visit him and whatnot. And in that time, she dried up. It's totally separate episode. Probably I'll talk about that. But so depending on what your baby eats is of course going to change the quality of what he poops out. He or she poops out. I cannot remember the difference between poop on breast milk or poop on formula, but I'm sure they fluctuate between quality. Some poops are like someone broke a pen and let ink spill everywhere because it's like sticky and it stinks. It is so awful. It's like cleaning up paint. And if you're not watching that diaper carefully, I'm guarantee you there's going to be a few times where you don't realize that his diaper is getting full and that you might neglect once or twice to change it. Don't neglect it, but it's going to happen at least once. And that diaper is going to be so full that it's going to start leaking pee and poopness. It is disgusting. Never let a diaper get too full. Change that when it needs to be changed. Not too late, but just never change the diaper. Don't wait till it's too late. But yeah, road trips with a dirty diaper is the worst. I forgot the name of the city. It's one of those bigger cities in the Midwest. Also known as the flyover states, but what is it? Might have been Kansas City. I don't remember. But we're driving and we know, hey, it's been 3 hours. We have to feed him and we have to change him. And we basically decide who has to do this between my wife and I. And it turns out it's me this time. Yay! So we pull up to this McDonald's, which was a big mistake because before we fed and changed him, I went into that McDonald's and a few people are doing drugs in the bathroom, so I leave because it's weird. Like some dude's yelling in the stall. Very, very sketchy neighborhood. So I think I suffered through it and I went to the bathroom. I live in a pretty safe city, so I'm not used to this kind of stuff. I'm not tough in that kind of way. But so I get back into the car and I sit in the back so that I can change him. So we have a ton of stuff packed into this car and there isn't a lot of space to do things. I don't want to bring the baby into that McDonald's in fear that someone's going to kidnap him for whatever reason. I love this thing to death. I need to protect him. So I will change him in this cumbersome little Jetta, which is very difficult to do. And the worst part is knowing that this mother trucker took a poop in his diaper. The worst thing that could possibly happen. He poops like once a day, and it happened. It just had to happen at this moment. So what I have to do is I have to move some backpacks around. So the car seat has a car seat holder that's locked in the middle seat. So I have to move things around. It's already packed to the brim, so it's even more cramped space. No matter how I reorganize this back of the car, it's cramped. So what has to happen is I have to lay this changing pad across my legs, and I have to lay him on my lap and hope that I have enough space between my stomach and his butt not to get any crap on me. And then I'm wiping this dude. I don't know why I'm even telling this like a story. It happened. I changed this guy's diaper. I ended up doing a lot faster than I would have because cop cars started flying behind us, and we're getting all the more scared. But and this was back in the day where I was dreading dirty diapers because I knew how bad they smelled. Now, you give me a diaper full of poop, I'll change that dude flippity squat. But yeah, that was a very, very. I don't know how I feel about the story. I might cut it out. I'm cutting out a lot of these things. But long story short, changing poops in a car, don't do it. Just find a safer place to change the baby. Wow, this is 17 minutes long so far of me just talking. I wanted this podcast to be like 30 minutes long. How's that going to work? How is that even fair? Maybe this whole episode's doing babies. Not doing discussing it, you creep. Should I even spun a joke off that? I don't know. But yeah, change your baby's diapers. Moral of the story, and you'll hate the smell for a while, but it gets better. Probably the only bad part about changing diapers now that he's crawling and exploring, he constantly wants to be in motion. So this is what happens when I try to change this guy's diapers. Now that he's 9 months and he's eating solid food, so his poops are stinkier. Sometimes it's solid, sometimes it's not, and they just overall it's you're cleaning up poop. There's not much to talk about, but what you have to do is you lay this kid on his back, you take off his pants. Right? You follow me? You're removing the pants. Oh, that's hard on its own. Removing this kid's pants because he's kicking and he's trying to flip over with his shirt. And if it's a onesie, he's just not having it. You have to pull his legs out, but he's kicking. He's struggling. He wants to get away. And so you have to grab him by the ankles with one hand and almost kind of like as if you were about to put a cow to hang, like a cow that just got slaughtered, and you're hanging it up by its legs on a pole. You're kind of doing that, but with a baby and without the neck slicing. What the hell is wrong with me? Why did I just say it like that? But yeah, you're holding him by the ankles, and he's still trying to roll over, and I skipped the part where you take off the diaper. But the diaper is off, so his butt's just covered in crap, and you're hanging him, and he's trying to get away from you. But the moment that he gets away from you, poop is going to get everywhere. So you hold on to those ankles with dear life, and you grab. You already prepared for this. You already have a diaper that's already open completely, with tons of baby wipes in that diaper, so you don't have to pull them out of the bag. Because trust me, my friend, that will be the biggest challenge of this diaper. No, well, not really, but it is a challenge. So you already are prepared for this moment, and you're just grabbing wipes one by one out of that diaper, and you're wiping him, and yeah, and then occasionally you'll realize I didn't grab enough wipes. I guess I'm going to have to double side this one because it's impossible now for me to pull a new wipe out of this bag. So you risk it, you fold it, but you still get a little bit of crap on your fingers. You have to wipe in the crack, and then sometimes it's okay. So there's like that fold where your legs like a V that goes down to your groin. I guarantee you, there's poop in that. So you have to adjust his legs so that area is parted, and then you wipe down there. And then if you have a boy, I don't know how it works for girls, but if you have a boy, you have to pop his pee-pee out. I call it a pee-pee because I'm talking about my son. Let's not be gross here. You pop out his pee-pee, and you have to make sure there isn't any cotton or any of that garbage. He just woke up from his nap, if you could hear him. I'm going to probably have to grab him in a second, cut this, and start back up from where I'm talking, but I'm going to just finish what I'm saying. You have to clean the little whiz, and the scrotum, of course. I don't know if this topic is for episode 1. Maybe I'll put this off for a different episode. This podcast is meant to get real, but maybe it's getting too real too quickly. I'm not ready for this kind of commitment. There's tons of stuff that I have texted myself that I want to talk about, but I'm not comfortable enough to. But maybe I will eventually. But anyways, you're changing this guy's diaper. Sometimes you are too lazy to get the changing mat. I'm going to be honest. I haven't used one of those in like 6 months probably. I don't know where it went. We don't have a changing table. So normally we lay them on the floor. So it's extra crucial that this kid's rear does not touch the floor at all. The changing pads in the diaper bag for when we go places. Yeah, that's where it is. We hardly go places, though, because having a kid, you don't have too much time. But, so it is crucial he doesn't touch the floor. So it's like a freaking Mission Impossible changing diapers. But yeah, since you don't have a changing pad, and I never grab a bag to throw you're going to do this 1,000 times. There's no way that you're going to grab a bag for your wipes while you're changing them. You're not going to go all the way to wherever you keep your trash and go grab it. So what you do is, as soon as you take off the dirty diaper, you slide it aside. That's your new trash can. I don't care if there's poop in it. You're leaving it out to throw the wipes in afterwards, and then you're folding it up and like a little diaper burrito to contain the smell. That is if you're my wife. I, on the other hand, I will live with the smell. I don't want to risk touching the poop. So I will put it into a separate trash bag, a plastic bag when I'm done, and I will throw it away to keep the smell in. But I'm not touching that any more than I have to. So what have we covered so far, kids? Let's recap this 23 minutes of me talking. Oh, no one wants to listen to that. No one will. You guys obviously want to listen to it. I'm just playing an act here. Actually, I have no idea if anyone will ever listen to these. I just thought, hey, I have to do this. Well, I'm going to cut it right here, and then we're going to pick back up with potential dangers of this kid. We're not going to talk about the cutesy stuff. We all know babies are cute. They smile, it's cute. They'll just randomly smile. Their arms are small. Oh, it's so adorable. Oh, look at him in that lion outfit. If you want to hear about cute babies, go on the internet. Now, don't get me wrong. My baby could be a freaking model dude. Yeah, actually, my kid's really adorable. We dressed him up as an elephant for Halloween, and the missus and I, we were safari people, safari goers. That works. But yeah, I'm going to cut this, and then we're going to go back to dangers. Fly into the danger zone. Wow! I don't know what that was. Jesus. All right. I think this is important that you listen to this, son, because you could put yourself in a situation that could get you hurt or possibly extremely injured, and I love you so much, and I don't want you to be hurt. So for this part, you're going to be my first and only co-host, okay? Okay, can you say hi? Can you make a sound? My kid is currently eyeing the microphone right now. What he likes to do is he likes to grab the pop filter by the neck. The few times I tried doing a Let's Play on the internet, but that's the first thing he grabs. And that's the first thing we're going to talk about is these babies, they will grab any and everything that they find amusing. For instance, the charger cable to my computer is currently his target, which isn't a big deal because grabbing, that's important. It's only bad when you're talking about things that okay, I'm going to admit to some bad parent faults right here. I have sat my laptop on the couch and I've left it unattended with Simon in the other room with somebody else, and he pulled it on top of himself because I put it in a place that he could reach it. Now, he didn't get hurt because, so he didn't pull it on top of himself. The other person that was watching him was seeing if he would pull it on top of himself, and when he started to, they stopped it. He's currently dragging the laptop off. Nope, not the pop filter. But, they grab. And normally the second thing they do is they put whatever they grabbed in their mouth. So if you have charger cables laying on the floor, he's probably going to put that other end in his mouth. Now, I'm no electrical engineer. I mean, I am technically an electronics engineering student, but that's neither here nor there. But that is probably not very safe. There's probably a few chemicals that might be into some electrical products that shouldn't be sucked upon. What are you doing? And there's that potential risk that he might electrocute himself or shock himself. So grabbing is all sorts of things that you have to watch out for. Especially when grabbing turns into him finding that garbage that you did not expect. Yeah, dude? Well, you could vacuum a room completely clean, and if you want to know if you missed a spot, just wait for the baby to find some piece of plastic. He is good at that. I'll have a whole room completely clean, and he'll find some sort of wrapper that I obviously missed. And he'll try to eat it, or he'll try to hold it in his mouth, and then you'll notice that if you let it slide and you don't notice, you'll notice because you'll hear him sucking on something, and you have to stick your finger in his mouth and scoop it, and you have to do that several times, and sometimes he almost throws up on your finger because you're being a little aggressive, Dad. Calm down with the finger. Ugh. I just went into full-on advice mode when this is not the purpose of the podcast. I need to hire somebody to smack me with a freaking shoe. But it's scary. It's scary. Currently, I just set him on the floor because he wanted to escape me. And now he's grabbing onto the chair and he's standing. Yeah. The other potential danger is that I face a lot with this kid is he'll crawl to places that he probably shouldn't. Every now and then that gate doesn't close correctly. So when you're a parent, you have areas gated off. And some gates are really, really extraordinarily efficient. Other gates they don't work so well, but they're easier to install. So we have two of those set up. We have one small gate, and then we have this other gate that basically it's a wall that gates off a whole bunch of a good opening, a good sized opening is what I'm trying to say. So we use that because the living room isn't led by a doorway per se. It's like two doorways put together, several doorways. It's like an arc opening. It's hard to explain, but so we use one of those, and it does not close very well. So this little dude, he'll escape, and I've watched him do it to see if he could do it because I was really curious. But this kid, he can climb all the way up the stairs. Now, I don't recommend that you let your kid do this. What I did personally, not saying you should do it, don't advocate putting your kid at risk, but I would sit right behind him as he climbed up each step, and I'm probably teaching this kid that it's okay to climb the stairs, but I've only let him do it twice. It's a good leg workout. My kid's going to be a freaking Olympian, dude. But yeah, the other thing he'll do is I've let him also, so I let him get onto things because he really likes it, and after 1,000 times of pulling him off things, you give a little, and then instead of pulling him down, you spot him, basically. So we have this bookshelf that is attached, like it's built into the wall that's right next to a chimney. Not thinking about that now, it doesn't seem safe, but that's the design. So he'll stand on the bricks, and then he'll grab onto the shelf and try to like climb over as if he was gonna hang by the shelf and just scoot his way. I don't know the word I'm trying to think. I'm doing all these hand motions you can't see, and I'm moving away from the mic quite a lot. But he'll try to like hang across something and climb, and it's like, dude, you can't do this. Please, you're scaring me. Currently, he's banging against the window. He just had a little cough. Hey, buddy. Hey. I love you. We have him in this little outfit that makes him into a moose. So the hoodie has horns on it, and it's brown. He's really cute in it. Are you my little moose? If you don't know when this video is recorded, it's December 2nd, so it's kind of cold, so we have him a little bundled in the house. But yeah, potential danger's always there. And this kid, he's not afraid of heights. We've sat him on the bed, and he'll try to climb off the bed. It's almost as if it's his goal to fall off of things. This kid, he's a freaking bullet. If you don't look at him for 2 seconds, he'll be in like a dead crawl sprint trying to fall off something. I swear to freaking gorsh. Not to mention that the things that attract him are so dangerous, like the blinds. Like whenever we open up the windows, the string that extends and unextends the blinds is accessible when you open them. And he'll try to grab onto those, and I swear, it's almost as if he's trying to wrap it around his neck as a choking hazard. Isn't that right, bud? That's your only goal, is to hurt yourself. Don't smile at me like that. I love him to death. Sorry, this podcast has taken a crazy turn for the better? I don't know. But yeah, I think I've almost discussed everything that I wanted to talk about baby-wise. I don't know if this has told you anything about me. Which was the whole point of the podcast. Oh, guys, this is a mess. If you have any advice, you could hit me up. I don't know if I have a Twitter. Probably have to make a new Twitter so none of my friends know about this podcast. Very, very shy when it comes to this stuff. Oh, what's the matter, Bobo? Here's another thing we can discuss. When your little baby hurts himself, you want to do everything in your power to make him feel better. And then once he feels better, you're like, okay, please go back to sleep. It's 1 a.m, and I have classes tomorrow. I'm glad you're feeling better, but it's not time to play. That's a scenario, kids. That's a scenario. It's actually 5:46 as of right now, so it's a scenario. This podcast is going to be crazily edited. But yeah, that's something about me. I'm a parent who loves my son very much. But I would also love a babysitter very much. Oh, come on. We gotta go back to the microphone. Okay. Unfortunately, folks, I have some depressing news. Despite the fact that I said two segments per episode, it looks like I am probably going to have a time limit for these episodes. So I think I'm going to have to call it good. 30 minutes is going to be enough per episode. Spreaker is only going to offer 5 hours for free, which is reasonable. A free service. Thank you very much, Spreaker, for doing this for me for free. But as of right now, I only have one episode, so I don't want to quite commit into paying for like a monthly membership for more hours. I don't think that's the responsible thing to do as a parent. But in the future, I would still like to do 2 segments per episode. Maybe if I break this podcast wall and I'm making this a weekly thing, it is in stone. I will move up to doing 2 segments per episode, or just more episodes per week. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you were able to get anything or everything out of that message. I'm so sorry if you are irritated by baby Simon playing in the background, but I just gotta have my co-host. Just gots to have my co-host. If I make a social networking thing for this, I don't know if I will yet, but I will probably announce that in a later episode. If you have any feedback, critiques whatsoever, I'll probably make an email for this podcast. Know what? I have just made the decision to do only a single segment per what do you call it? Episode. The thing, they go by season. You'll probably hear my baby playing in the background now because he has a toy. But yeah, I think I'm only going to do 1 segment per episode, mostly because I was checking Spreaker to see how I should upload things, and it turns out only 5 hours for free, which isn't, I'm not going to complain, it's for free. I'm not a big time podcaster yet. Come here, Bubba. I can't divulge that much time into it yet, especially since I'm recording while watching my beautiful baby boy. I spent 30 minutes talking about you, and I could spend another decade going over your I can't say the word. But anyways, I'm going to cut this episode off. I was about to start talking about moving. Maybe not. Maybe I was. But I thought better of it. Probably going to upload twice a week until I fill up those 5 hours, which is, if you do the math, like 10 episodes. So thanks for watching. If you have any criticism, advice, I just made an email account. It's called enduplikeMePodcast@gmail.com. So let me see if I can spell ENDUP end up LIC. No. Cut the recording. He doesn't know how to spell. No, ENDUPLIKE MEPODCAST@gmail.com. Brilliant. I should do the spelling bee. Catch you later, alligators. Bye-bye now.